It's been a while. You haven't had too much time to be able to write notes on the episode.
No, I haven't had too much time. But what episode are we on right now?
I just said this. Sorry. Season 1, episode 38, Scottcast, part 4.
Yeah. Just before we get to yapping a little bit, last episode we were around the year 1159. That sounds like a very specific number. I don't know that, 3,200 years ago, how they can be that specific, but okay.
Yeah.
And there was a giant Icelandic volcano that covered the sky.
I'm going to tell you right now, that word does not look like volcano.
It doesn't. I accidentally
It's like
wrote
volume.
That's what it is. And I just looked at it and I said, why did I write volume? It's volcano. That's what it was talking about. And it possibly also corresponded with a tsunami in Orkney. And but that may have blocked the sun for several years. Anyway, Benja, we're going to get to all that exciting stuff. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been busy. You've been busy also, huh?
Busy guy.
Yeah. School started back.
Yeah.
We keep talking about getting these done. It's up to me.
Yeah, it is up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to get it done. So what you been up to?
I mean, we just played at the freaking Windjammer.
That was a rocking show, huh? Wow. Sold out?
Wow.
Yeah. Who's your buddy that taught you the Trump impression so well?
Freddie McClendon. We had him on.
He was a guest.
Special guest.
Yeah. He's not going to believe our setup.
We got a very, you're looking at us, you think it's just, a couch, a little small room with a couch, a lot of open space. It is very, we need to do a little behind the scenes.
Oh, we should. That's a short you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we played with Freddie at the Windjammer. It was awesome. 800 or so people there.
I think it was 1,000.
Yeah,
something. It was sold out.
It was sold out 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Biggest crowd I've ever played in front of.
Yeah, it was intense. This guy is just such a badass drummer. I mean, I watched some video back today. Man, it was great stuff.
You started off badass banjo player.
Well, and Jarrett and Witt and, Freddie, of course. That was so much fun, Shout out Freddie McClendon and Easy Honey. That was fun. Windjammer.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Check it out.
Easy Honey was also, amazing.
They were great. Yeah, so that's our side project. Check us out, SurrenderCobraBand.com or Surrender Cobra on all your socials. This episode's sponsored by Surrender Cobra.
If you might not be able to see it, but we got a new mic. As you see, we are not holding our little mics anymore. No, not little mics anymore. We got this one big mic for us to share.
This was my birthday present.
Yeah, the quality should be amazing.
Thank you for this.
And so we hope you enjoy. Hope it makes it a little better for you, especially the ones listening who aren't watching us visually. The ones listening on the podcast app, the Spotify, Apple Music,
right?
Whatever.
Whatever you listen to your music
on.
A
lot better.
And you can just listen to it on YouTube too, even if you don't. Even if you're not watching, you say you're driving and you don't have any of those apps, you put it on YouTube. Anyway, Benjo, let's get down to it. For goodness sakes, we're in the aftermath of this giant Icelandic volcano, not volume, and in addition to some of the other effects, Jamie says it could have added to the growth of these peat bogs. Remember we talked about swampy peat bogs?
I do remember that.
And that the rise in peat bogs forced people to move because it really wasn't, habitable living in too swampy of an area. Yeah. Jamie, he gets kind of in depth. This isn't necessarily a culture episode, but he talks about how there's a rise often in societies and civilizations, whether they're organized or not, there's a rise in religion when there's so much death.
Yeah.
And in Scotland,
because you want to know what's going to happen after death, so you get more invested into religion because more people are dying.
Right, and you
And
want
there's
answers.
a higher chance that you're gonna die, and you want to have like a good
That's right.
after-death experience.
It just it sometimes it makes people wonder what's going on, and they got to try to make sense of it. And but around this time they kind of switch from the stone monuments like Stonehenge to worshiping bodies of water. Mm-hmm. And so Jamie says we see a decrease in burial sites, possibly because people are being buried in the water instead, and that
so just thrown out into the water.
Well, not Jamie specifically says not just thrown out, not just tossed, but ceremoniously, likely placed in the water.
It's a lot easier for you.
And so that's maybe why we don't find graves, because they've been lost to bodies of water.
We find a lot of bodies in water.
Well, that's why I'm assuming at some point the water just deteriorates that, and fish eat them, and
they decompose.
And decompose.
But like the skeleton, wouldn't you think the skeleton maybe fine?
Well, and that's one thing they say is maybe not necessarily in water, but in these peat bogs.
Yeah.
The peat bogs would preserve bodies.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But I'm sure there's some remnants of skeletons in a old lake. I don't know. It's a good question.
But
Makes you think.
Let's get back to the point.
Well, that kind of is the point,
Yeah.
So we talk about around the year 1000 BC, we see the rise in hill forts.
Yeah.
These aren't the forts we think of now.
Towns built on hills, which is exactly what you said. But I want to say, it's funny because today in social studies, which was basically our first day of Tim teaching us, because it was either like introduction or map testing,
right?
Or he wasn't there one day. But anyway, this was our first day of learning.
Uh-huh.
And we were learning about South Carolina history, but learning about like
mounds?
villages on hills.
Oh yeah.
And it was talking about there would be houses, and then there was one other thing. I can't remember what he said was on it. But it was I thought it was pretty interesting because,
right.
like building it on, and he said it would be like 100 feet hills too.
Right.
But yeah.
Were these man-made hills or natural hills?
We didn't get that.
I want you to report next time on where these hills were in the state, and were they man-made or natural?
Yeah, you're going to remind me.
Yeah, because hills are naturally good defensive spots, right? So if you're in fear of, if you're scared that you're going to be attacked.
I just realized that was the front side of the microphone. It's gonna work. I think I'm sounding better.
You think so? Okay. But hills are easily. I mean, if you have the higher ground, you can shoot down or whatever.
Yeah.
Chop down.
No, I understand.
It just gives you a little bit of an advantage. Yeah. But that's good. I want you to report back. And so that's kind of what these were going like. So I get the impression that a lot of these hills a lot of these hill forts were on generally natural hills. Mm-hmm. But if they weren't, they'd get a moat. If they were flatter.
I'll say this. I built a fantastic moat at the beach the other day.
You did. Yeah. And when you did that at the beach, you took the dirt from the ditch, the sand from the ditch, or the moat. I mean, we're calling it a ditch. And where'd you put it? Did you put it in the middle? Because if you put it in the middle, then you can create your own little hill fort.
No,
with the dirt taken from the ditches.
That is a good idea.
And that's what they,
But I did just kind of throw it on the side.
You did? Okay. But you weren't building a defensive structure to protect against other warring tribes, right?
No, I actually was.
You were? Okay.
And you see me here alive and well, so just keep in mind what happened to those tribes.
So true, so true. So, but this was basically a wall. These weren't just like little defensive forts just for the military. These were like walled towns.
Yeah.
And Jamie says there's hundreds of them, mostly in the south of Scotland. But we don't really know how they were exactly used. Jamie also mentions the evidence of horses or really small ponies around this time. A little Wikipedia. But he didn't really go into more detail about it.
Bro's allergic to horses.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Are you?
I'm not. I'm
No,
allergic to cats.
you've ridden horses. You rode.
Is that a word? Ridden?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. You rode Josh Norman's
wait.
horse.
Is it a word or is it not? I'm sitting right there. Yeah, I did. What's this horse's name? His celebration.
Was it Traveler or something?
No, his celebration when he played for the Panthers.
Yeah.
He called it. Was it like Dollar Bill? Or is that
Dollop? Was it Dollop? It's this.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
It could be Dollar Bill, but Dollar Bill might be Xavier Leggett's horse.
Yeah, it's got to be.
If it's Xavier Leggett's horse, this is the answer right now. If it's Xavier Leggett's horse, if it's not, then that's the name of Xavier Leggett's horse. Wait, why
you have some work to do.
A little bit of work.
But I did some research on. Where did I research?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, and there was evidence of horses long before, like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But from what I can tell, it looks like there was general breeding between continental horses and native British horses around this time. Okay, but Jamie specifically describes them as small ponies. So don't think they're like the war horses of.
Yeah. Yes. And apparently, it's like you're not supposed to kill somebody while they're on a horse.
You're not.
Mm-mm.
I mean, in battle that happened all the time.
Well, that's what Mr. McMahon said.
Okay, I want you to follow up on that
too.
too.
He said that George Washington was at gunpoint on a horse, but they didn't kill him because he was on a horse.
I need more details about that.
Right.
People get killed in battles on horse, but there may be some honor, like rule or something
in America during that time because it was a civil war.
Maybe. But anyway, we around this time that we're moving. This is these horses we're talking about were before the rise of Celtic culture. Mm-hmm. Celtic culture, which we talked about. Actually, I say we talked about was in the members only episode more, but we're going to learn more and more about Celtic culture. But what we learned about Celtic culture before the Romans was that it had made it to Britain by around 400 to 500 BC. But was it because of some invasion from the continent? Or was it just natural cultural spread of ideas? Right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
I'll say this. It's totally off track, but I emailed Jamie trying to get him on as a special guest. You know, I promoted our podcast. I was like, hey, we're big fans. You should be a special guest on our podcast sometime. I mean, I could have at least got an answer back. It didn't have to be yes. But
hey, you know, he's busy. He's busy. We are going to continue to make great tributes to his work, whether he responds to you or not.
Make me all sad.
I know, but maybe it'll work out. I mean, look, we're right at the end of technically at the end of season 1, so we got plenty of time to go.
Yeah.
And I got to go quicker through this thing, or we're going to be here all day long.
I go.
Around 700 BC, Benjo.
Fast.
Iron appears in southern Britain. In southern Britain, down here, I don't know what I did with my.
I see it on the chair over there. Should I
No.
go get it real quick?
In southern Britain, not up there yet. So it takes.
Well, if it's in southern Britain,
but it took it didn't just like spread immediately. It took a while for the rise of iron culture to reach the north of the island of Britain. Mm-hmm. Because before that they were using bronze, right? Do you remember what bronze is?
It's
a combination of
copper
and tin.
Tin, but let me say, like we talked about this in the last episode. Copper is the third place, bronze is the third place medal for the Olympics.
Right. Well, a little fun fact. Did you just throw a fun fact in there?
I mean, it was pretty dang fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. But bronze is a combination of copper and tin. The tin was all from the continent or right here in Cornwall. So if you wanted to make bronze up north, you'd have to come all the way down here to get tin, or have it somehow, some type of trade shipment route. You know,
this too much if you know what I mean.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
So and bronze was good, but
you must have really needed bronze if you're going to do all that.
Well, and it was good for what it was used for back then, but it was a softer metal.
Yeah.
Once they figured out how to make iron, it was kind of a game changer. Iron could be you didn't have to combine two things to make iron. Iron was mined from iron ore.
It's like gold. It just came naturally.
Right, or like copper or tin,
Yeah.
It came naturally, but the technology, it needs that. When we think of technology, we think of like computers and stuff. Yeah. The technology they needed to make it was much more intense for them than it was for bronze, because they had to really use a lot of heat. And Jamie goes into great detail about how iron is made and shaped. But you needed a lot of fuel and energy and heat to make it liquid iron and then form it how you wanted to. But once you did, iron was stronger than bronze. And this is who worked with metal? What's the name of the people who worked with metal? Smiths.
And
yeah,
we're Smiths.
We're Smiths.
Wait, this is an AI generated photo of us doing blacksmith work.
Oh my gosh, you are really working hard this episode. So when there's more iron, there's a rise in trade between Britain and the continent, because there's more technology, more trade for things like iron that people want.
Yeah.
People aren't necessarily going to trade for some other stuff as much as they would for iron. So anyway, we go back to this Celtic culture, which is there about 400, 500 BC. We mentioned. I highlighted a few things because I thought for a 13-year-old this would interest you. Jamie talks about ghost fences, which were part of Celtic culture, where they would kill people and take their heads off and put them on the top of fences to ward off their enemies.
That really interests me.
And this is
this
is in the first few hundred years.
But that's some psychopathic stuff.
Yeah,
that is some.
I think there's more psychopathic stuff throughout history than we probably want to care to admit.
I remember the first episode of The Last Kingdom. Go check it out. It's on Netflix.
Same thing. You know what?
Seven Kings Must Die.
That's kind of what I think of.
Great show. Some might say the best. And frankly, we just love it so much.
That's kind of what I think of when I think of Impaled Heads. Is that first?
That's
one
the
exact
first episode.
one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And they put Uhtred's brother head on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his brother's name was Uhtred, and then he just became Uhtred.
Took his name.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
What a great show. Can we name a dog Uhtred, please?
You wanted to name Buck Uhtred.
Can we name another dog Uhtred?
I'll give you a deal. Once I leave for college, you can name.
Okay.
Actually, once I move out of the house, you can name a dog Uhtred.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, Jamie talks about how long some of this like crazy sadistic culture lasted, and he talks about something in 1580 A.D. This is in Ireland. Jamie doesn't typically reference Ireland, but I guess we're talking about Celtic culture in the British Isles. And he talks about an Irish chief who was hung, drawed, and quartered, maybe hanged, I think is actually correct. And his foster mother took his head, drank his blood, saying, "The earth is not worthy of his blood."
Oh my, that
Did I just blow your mind?
Alright, I'm sorry. That was the psychopathic.
You weren't ready for that, were you?
I'm sorry. The psychopathic meter was up here, and then with the heads on the fence, and then I think it got up here.
You thought I was going to tell some neat little story about hill forts or something.
That was the one about the heads on the fences. Like, I was thinking that's the most psychopathic thing I'm going to hear in this podcast, right?
Right.
And then you come back.
I know.
Maybe 30 seconds later with that crazy stuff.
Right.
Like, I just never would have imagined that.
I mean, if you'd read ahead,
like,
you would have imagined that. But
I mean, I'm not really. But I've heard. We were just talking about iron. Doesn't blood taste like iron?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I think you're right.
Don't like try this at home. Just.
I think you're right. So Benjo, but granted, this example I just gave you it's actually closer in time to when we live now than what we're talking about, the Druids. So people were that violent and sadistic only 500 years ago. That example is 1580 A.D. Jamie kind of hypothesizes that it could be the remnants of an ancient Druidic culture from 2,000 years earlier. Or Celtic culture, I should say.
I don't know how to get over that.
So anyway, Celtic culture, yeah, you going to be okay? Celtic culture brought language and changes and more aggressive warlike behavior.
Yeah.
Because before, there were always tribes and there was always fighting.
It was like, what were the forts built for in addition to defense? Not just defense. Like,
right, because, I mean, obviously forts are built for defenses, right?
Yeah, but like, what else were they built for?
That's a good question.
They were, I mean, you could say they were built for champion culture, like settled disputes.
Well, that wasn't really what the forts were built for.
I tried to read it.
You did.
Do a little mind thing, but you just didn't answer the question.
It was. I think it was a rhetorical question because we don't know the answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What were they built for?
Rhetorical means there's a lot of answers.
Right.
It varies.
Right. You knew.
It's a statistical question.
Rhetorical. Rhetoric. So, Benjo, one thing that the Celtic culture brought with them was there was some evidence of champion culture, and I think Jamie's saying this wasn't always the case,
but like it settled the disputes with the battles between leaders rather than a small army. You know?
Right. So, like, what if we were to go to war with Russia, and instead of fighting with our armies, Trump just fought Putin, and whoever won that won.
I feel like that wouldn't be entertaining because they're both old.
I know. You'd have to think that back then there were younger, more
if it was like
hardy
I
men.
feel like if it was like a JFK versus like a young Russian president, it would be pretty fun, entertaining.
But isn't that kind of crazy, champion culture?
Yeah,
I'm sure they really didn't like the outcome.
But I feel like now that I think about it, it would be pretty entertaining, just like watching them.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time, it would be like scary because they'd be fighting till death.
I know, and you're the fate of whether you're gonna become part of another society rests on whether this one dude
is like
is good at MMA.
How strong they are,
right?
How good they are at fighting,
or their weapons. Yeah, maybe they had swords and stuff. But I just thought you would think that was crazy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool though.
Here we start getting early somehow written records. I'm not exactly sure.
British warriors with painted tattoos.
Painting and tattoos. The Romans referred a lot to, in their written records, these crazy natives that were painted blue, maybe tattooed also. Mm-hmm. And so that was what a lot of folks from the continent thought of when they thought of British warriors and natives, right? But so I say that because, like, what was the point of that? Was it for status?
Yeah. Was it for intimidation? Was it for art?
Do people get tattoos like we get? Like people today get tattoos?
Yeah.
Just
like,
to show off
for fun.
Right.
Just because I think it's cool, but like also you gotta think Celtic culture was
Celtic.
oral. Sorry, Celtic. I was thinking the Celtics, but
yeah.
Celtic culture was oral, and it was difficult for history's nerds to understand.
Right, because a lot of the stuff wasn't written down, so you've got to use archaeology or some type of historical context clues.
And I gotta say, since I just mispronounced Celtic, are the Celtics?
Give me 5 push-ups for mispronouncing Celtic.
No.
Are the Celtics? Yes.
I'll do them later. Are the Celtics named after the Celtics?
Yeah.
Well, why are they not called the Celtics?
I don't think it sounded as cool. I don't know.
I feel like if they just
Boston Celtics.
I feel like if they just went with that all along, we wouldn't really have we would think it would sound cool too.
I think you're right. I've wondered that before too, Benjo. I don't know. So Jamie goes into.
No. I was thinking something, but never mind.
Jamie then goes into detail about houses in Scotland around this time and what they looked like. Mm-hmm. He says they were round with thatched roofs, with wooden walls, could be about 900 square feet, which is like I think the apartment Mom and I lived in when we first got married was 800.
That doesn't give me any picture.
It was, I mean, just like a little apartment, really.
Wait, how, like, is it bigger than my room?
Yeah, bigger than your room.
Is it bigger than the upstairs?
No.
Is it bigger than the upstairs without this room?
Maybe.
Is it about that size?
Maybe about that size, yeah. And so there's a fireplace in the middle, which kept everybody warm. And the doors, one thing Jamie talks about is the doors were placed facing east. It was like kind of a natural alarm clock. When the sun rose in the east, it would wake people up. The beds, interestingly enough, were around the outside walls because I think the fire in the middle of the house would have been too hot to have beds near.
You know what I think is one of the most impressive talents is to be able to read time by the sun.
I do too.
Like just being able to do that. Like when I'm old,
and balancing plates on your head, like that Chinese acrobat lady. But yeah.
Someday when I'm older, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen sundials, which tell you the time?
Do they look at the sun and tell you?
Well, it's a shadow that based on the shadow is what time it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sundials, check it out.
I will. I'll check them out.
Maybe we do it. Maybe you do a short on sundials.
Yeah.
You know, just an idea. Yeah. I don't know. But he also mentioned this could add to the warmth if it was really cold, especially in northern Britain, Scotland.
Yeah.
Is if you had animals on the first floor and people on the second floor. So the warmth of the animals would warm you up. Probably a lot of cow farting too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know. But these homes would have, because of the fuel from the center, they would have required a lot of trees to have been consumed. So there's simultaneously much land clearing, if I'm understanding what Jamie's talking about, because they were using a lot of fuel. Jamie then starts talking about the islands. Again, I'm pointing up north to these northern Scottish islands. And he talks about brocks up in these northern islands and how they were stone towers that existed, like they were there before the Roman invasion or potentially right as the Romans were invading. But I guess, no, he says before the Roman invasion. But anyway, there's kind of this myth that there was the northern part of Britain, what we now call Scotland, was unsophisticated, these barbarians that weren't organized. Well, Jamie says previously when the Romans came over and conquered the island in 44 AD, when Claudius came over in this year, there was, for a long time they thought it was a typo that said the king of Orkney, which is way up there in northern Scottish island, would have been one of the tribes that submitted to the Roman authority.
Yeah.
But maybe it wasn't. Maybe if it wasn't, it would show that Scotland was more organized and more concerned about the threat.
Guess we'll never know.
I guess we won't. And it makes me wonder, if Orkney way up there did, why isn't there more evidence?
Orkney's fun to say.
Orkney.
I said Orkney. I said it's fun to say.
Why isn't there more evidence of Scottish tribes much further south, closer to the Romans, also submitting? Benjo, we talked probably longer than the actual episode.
Way too much.
But I think we covered a lot, and it was good.
I think it was just, getting used to this technology.
Right.
Thanks
for listening. Hopefully this reinforces your learning of the episode.
Yeah, enjoyed it, and keep watching, subscribe.
Smell you later. I've been B.
I've been Benjo. There's no need for that.
Don't believe